Last day in the Vatican. In the gentle light of a Vatican morning, the first rays of sunlight gently spread everywhere, illuminating the ancient cobblestone streets and majestic walls of this small but powerful and historic city. The church bells rang out regularly, each chime like a call from the past, carrying with it the peace and majesty that has existed for centuries. Pope Francis, the spiritual leader of millions of believers around the world, was preparing for a special day. He had felt a change in recent days, an unusual serenity, as if he were entering a new phase of his life. Today, he spent time in his small chapel, where he often finds peace and strength to face the challenges of life. The chapel, with its walls decorated with religious paintings and beautiful stained glass windows, created a sacred and quiet space. Sunlight shone through the stained glass, creating shimmering images on the marble floor, like vivid paintings that told the story of faith and mercy. Pope Francis sat there, silent and thoughtful, his thin hands clutching the rosary beads. Each bead was a prayer for peace, for mercy, and for the salvation of humanity. He had spent his life serving, leading his flock on the path of love and charity. In the chapel, he felt the presence of God more clearly than ever. It was not just a feeling, but a real presence, a consolation and encouragement that he had always sought. He thought back to the years, the hardships and joys he had experienced with his community. Encounters with the poor, the abandoned, and those seeking salvation shaped his life and his mission. He thought of his travels to distant lands, where he brought the message of love and mercy. He recalled standing before thousands of believers, seeing their hopeful eyes, and feeling the weight of responsibility on his shoulders. But he also remembered the private moments when he could pray and talk to God, seeking guidance and comfort. These memories were not just fleeting images, but fragments of a meaningful life. He had lived his life with dedication and enthusiasm, always trying to do God's will and serve humanity to the best of his ability. And now, in the peace of the chapel, he knew that the moment of farewell to this world was approaching. But his heart was not filled with fear, but with peace. He felt that he had fulfilled his mission, that he had done all he could to bring love and mercy to the world. He closed his eyes, letting himself be immersed in the silence and sacredness of this moment. He felt the presence of God, like a warm and gentle light surrounding him. In this moment, all worries and fears melted away, leaving only deep peace and unwavering faith. Pope Francis knew that he was not alone. He felt God's love and mercy, and he knew that he would be welcomed with open arms when the final moment came. In this serenity, he smiled, ready for his final journey, a journey home, where he had always belonged. The journey to heaven. In that peaceful moment, as Pope Francis closed his eyes to pray, he felt a gentle movement, as if the whole space around him was changing. The church bells were still ringing, but now they were joined by another sound, a gentle music from heaven, as if thousands of angels were singing to welcome him. Feeling as if he were floating, the Pope opened his eyes and found himself standing on a path of radiant light. This path was unlike any he had ever known. It was made of pure light, with no beginning or end, only an infinity of love and mercy. All around him, pure white flower petals fell gently to the ground, forming a soft carpet under his feet. Every step on this path brought him a sense of serenity and peace. He felt a sense of relief, as if all the burdens of life had been lifted. There were no more worries, no more pain. There was only absolute peace. The light around him not only shone, but also enveloped him, like the loving arms of God. The Pope continued walking, each step sure and confident. He felt as if he were returning home, where he had always belonged. On this path, he was not alone. He felt the presence of souls who had gone before him, who had lived lives filled with charity and love. They smiled at him, welcoming him with joy and reverence. As he went further down the path of light, he began to hear singing in the distance. It was the singing of angels. The sounds were clear and ethereal, like a heavenly song that had no end. Each note contained love and kindness, filling his heart with joy and emotion. The path led him to a large gate, made of golden light and precious gems, radiating a brilliant aura. The gate opened gently, as if welcoming him into a new world, a world of eternity and peace. The Pope stepped through the gate and immediately felt a profound change. Inside the gate, he found himself standing in the middle of a beautiful garden where everything was bright and alive. Lush green trees, colorful flowers, and clear streams flowing created a peaceful and serene scene. The air was filled with the fragrance of flowers, like a welcome from nature. The Pope felt as if he had entered a world of perfection, where everything was blended together in harmony and love. He knew that he had arrived at the place he had been searching for, a place where he could rest and enjoy eternal peace. In this garden, he saw gathered souls who had lived lives filled with charity and love. They smiled at him, welcoming him with open arms and eyes full of joy. He felt a strong connection with them, as if they had always been by his side, guiding and protecting him on his journey. Pope Francis knew that he had completed his mission on earth, and that he could now rest in the unconditional love of God. He felt absolute peace, a feeling he had never experienced before. There were no more worries, no more pain, only serenity and joy. In this moment, he knew that he had returned home, where he had always belonged. He felt God's love and mercy, and he knew that he would be welcomed with open arms when the final moment came. In this serenity, he smiled, ready for his final journey, a journey home, where he always belonged. The divine encounter. In a space filled with light and peace, Pope Francis continued to walk. Each step he took on the path of light was not only a physical act, but also a profound spiritual journey, where every moment had a sacred meaning. He felt a strong urge to move forward, as if a gentle voice echoed in his soul, inviting him closer to a destination he had been waiting for all his life. Before his eyes, a magical scene gradually appeared. It was a large square, surrounded by rows of lush green trees, with leaves that glowed as if made of pure gold. In the center of the square, a brilliant light radiated, dazzling but not blinding. That light not only illuminated the space, but also shone deep into his soul, bringing him a feeling of serenity and joy he had never known before. The Pope paused for a moment, his heart pounding with emotion. He sensed that he was at a momentous occasion, a moment for which he had spent his entire life preparing. He knew that he was about to meet the Lord, the one he had served all his life, the one he had preached to millions around the world. As he drew closer to the light, he began to feel the presence of God more clearly than ever before. It was not just a feeling, but a living reality. He felt as if he were surrounded by an unconditional love, a love that could not be expressed in words. Not only did it soothe all his pain and anxiety, but it also brought him a deep joy, a joy that came from knowing that he was accepted. And then, in that brilliant light, he saw God. It was not a physical image, but a divine presence, a living light, full of love. The Lord stood there, with open arms, like a father welcoming his beloved son home. His gaze, though not physical, contained all the kindness and mercy the Pope had ever felt in his life. "Welcome, my faithful son." The Lord's voice rang out, gentle yet powerful. It was not a voice that could be heard by the ear, but a voice that resonated in the soul, a voice whose every word was imbued with love and comfort. Pope Francis knelt, tears streaming down his cheeks. They were not tears of pain, but tears of joy and gratitude. He felt that he had fulfilled his mission, that all the hardships and sacrifices he had undergone had not been in vain. He felt that he had been accepted, not because of what he had done, but because of God's unconditional love. "You have lived an honorable life," the Lord continued, his voice like gentle music resonating in his soul. "You have brought my love and mercy to the world, and now you will enjoy eternal peace." Those words were like a cool stream flowing through the Pope's soul, bringing him a serenity he had never experienced before. He felt as if all the burdens of life had been lifted, as if he were standing before God not only as a pope, but as a son loved unconditionally. In that moment, the Pope felt a profound connection with God, a connection that transcended all boundaries of language and thought. He felt that he was not just an individual, but part of a greater plan, a plan of love and mercy. He felt that everything he had done in his life had meaning, that all the suffering and sacrifices he had undergone had contributed to the realization of that plan. As the Lord stretched out his hand, the Pope felt a gentle light envelop him. The light not only illuminated his body, but also penetrated deep into his soul, bringing him an indescribable sense of peace and joy. He felt that he had been healed, not only physically, but also spiritually. All wounds, all pain, all fatigue had disappeared, leaving only serenity and joy. "You will be here, in my arms, forever," the Lord said, his voice filled with love and comfort. "You will have no more worries or pain. You will rest in eternal peace, and you will always be in my love." In the arms of the Lord, the Pope felt a peace he had never experienced before. He knew that he had come home, that he had found the place where he always belonged. He felt that he had been accepted, not because of anything he had done, but because of God's unconditional love. All around him, angels sang hymns, welcoming him into the kingdom of heaven. Their songs were not just sounds, but words of praise and thanksgiving, a reminder that he had fulfilled his mission and would now rest in eternal peace. Pope Francis was immersed in the light, becoming part of eternity. He knew that he would never be alone, that he would always be surrounded by God's love and mercy. And in that moment, he felt that everything he had done in his life had meaning, that all the hardships and sacrifices he had endured had been worth it. A legacy of love and mercy. In the gentle light of a new morning, the Vatican continues its daily life. Bells ring through the air, a reminder of God's constant and divine presence in every moment of life. Although Pope Francis has departed from this world, his legacy lives on, as a guiding light for millions of believers around the world. In the days following his passing, the Vatican has become a center of remembrance and veneration. Believers have come from all over, bringing with them prayers and deep gratitude for the spiritual father who guided them through difficult times. Long lines of people forming an endless stream of love and mercy, just as Pope Francis taught throughout his life. Throughout the Vatican, his portraits hang, not only as symbols of leadership, but also as reminders of the values he lived and taught. Each portrait carries a profound message, a reminder that love and mercy are not just abstract concepts, but concrete actions that each person can take in their daily lives. Commemoration services are held regularly, with prayers and hymns echoing throughout churches and chapels. These services are not only an occasion to remember Pope Francis, but also an opportunity for people to come together and reflect on his life and legacy. His sermons, the advice and guidance he shared, are recalled and transmitted, serving as an endless source of inspiration for those seeking peace and mercy. During the ceremonies, stories about Pope Francis were told, from his travels to distant lands where he brought the message of love and mercy to those most in need. These stories are not just memories, but vivid lessons of courage, patience, and unwavering faith in God's love. One of the most frequently told stories was his trip to a refugee camp in the Middle East, where he met people facing loss and suffering. In the most difficult circumstances, he brought comfort and hope, not just with his words, but with his actions. He took the time to listen, to share, and to pray with them, bringing them a ray of faith and mercy. Pope Francis' legacy lives on not only in stories and memories, but also in the concrete actions he encouraged people to take. He urged people to live a life of charity, to open their arms to those in need, and to always seek ways to bring love and mercy to the world. In the days since his death, many charities and communities have been founded, inspired by his teachings. These organizations work not only to help the poor and abandoned, but also to spread the message of love and mercy everywhere. These actions are not only a continuation of Pope Francis' legacy, but also a reminder that everyone can do something to change the world. His legacy also lives on in his works of literature, art, and music, where the values he lived and taught are expressed in a profound and moving way. These works not only revive his memory, but also inspire future generations who will continue the journey of love and mercy. In the paintings, he is depicted with a gaze full of love and mercy, as a reminder that he lived a life worthy of respect and meaning. The musical works composed in his memory, with gentle and profound melodies, are like an endless hymn, a blessing and thanksgiving to the spiritual father who guided them on the path of love. And in the books, his teachings are recorded, not only as a historical document, but as an endless source of inspiration for those who are searching for peace and mercy. These books are not only a reminder of his life and legacy, but also an advice and guidance for those who are seeking to live a meaningful life. Pope Francis' legacy is not just what he did and said, but what he taught and encouraged people to do. He lived a life of charity and love, and he inspired millions around the world to do the same. And although he has left this world, his legacy lives on, as a guiding light for those who seek peace and mercy. In the days since his death, the Vatican has become a center of remembrance and veneration, not just as a place to remember, but also as a place to continue the journey of love and mercy. Worshippers have come from all over, bringing with them prayers and deep gratitude for the spiritual father who guided them through difficult times. And in those days, Pope Francis' legacy lives on, not just in memories and stories, but in the concrete actions people take to continue the journey of love and mercy. These actions are not only a continuation of his legacy, but also a reminder that everyone can do something to change the world. The rise of faith. In the months since Pope Francis passed away, a new wave of faith and enthusiasm has surged through Catholic communities and beyond the borders of religion. His legacy has not only resonated with the faithful, but has also inspired those who had never heard of his teachings. It is a spiritual awakening, a new beginning for those searching for deeper meaning in life. In churches around the world, from the great cathedrals of Europe to the small chapels in remote villages, the atmosphere of spiritual rebirth is pervasive. Prayer services are more crowded than ever, with the participation of generations of people, from the elderly to the young. The hymns that resounded were not only the sounds of devotion, but also the expression of a strong belief in a better future, guided by love and mercy. Religious leaders who have been directly inspired by Pope Francis are emerging as worthy successors, carrying his torch to continue to light the way forward. They not only teach the teachings, but also live by those values, becoming living examples for their communities. In every sermon, they remind people of the power of love, forgiveness, and mercy, which the Pope has constantly encouraged. One of the most remarkable stories is that of a young priest in Africa who decided to dedicate his life to serving his community. Inspired by the teachings of Pope Francis, he started an education program for poor children, giving them the opportunity for a brighter future. The simple classrooms, filled with laughter and curiosity, are a testament to the positive change that love and mercy can bring. Not only religious leaders, but also young people are stepping up to become pioneers in spreading the Pope's message. Social movements, volunteer groups, and youth-led NGOs are flourishing, with the aim of improving the lives of the less fortunate. These projects focus not only on providing material assistance, but also on building communities, encouraging solidarity and compassion. A group of university students in South America have founded a non-profit organization to help families affected by natural disasters. They not only provide food and clean water, but also organize workshops to teach communities how to protect themselves and rebuild their lives after disasters. These activities, though small, have made a big difference in the lives of many people and are a testament to the power of mercy and love in action. In addition, the rise of faith is also evident in the development of art and culture. Artworks, from paintings to music, are created with inspiration from the values conveyed by Pope Francis. They are not only creative works, but also prayers, thanksgivings, and promises for a better world. Art exhibitions and concerts not only attract the attention of art lovers, but also become bridges between cultures, encouraging mutual understanding and respect. A young artist in Asia has created a collection of paintings about love and mercy, inspired by the Pope's sermons. Her paintings are not only beautiful works of art, but also emotional stories of compassion and forgiveness. The collection has been exhibited in many countries, giving audiences an insight into the power of love and mercy. In the field of music, a young band in Europe has composed an album of songs inspired by the values promoted by Pope Francis. The gentle melodies and meaningful lyrics have touched the hearts of many people, inspiring them with a new faith in the power of music to connect and heal. The rise of faith is not limited to the Catholic community, but has spread to other religions. Interfaith dialogues are taking place more frequently, with the participation of religious leaders and believers from many different cultures and beliefs. These dialogues not only help to increase mutual understanding and respect, but also create opportunities to work together on charitable and social projects. A prime example is the Interfaith Conference held in the Middle East, where leaders from Catholics, Muslims, Jews, and other religions came together to discuss how to work together to address social and environmental issues. The conference was not just a forum for sharing ideas, but also a major step forward in building bridges between religions, encouraging cooperation and solidarity. The resurgence of faith in the post-Pope Francis era is not just a temporary phenomenon, but a lasting movement, a spiritual flame that continues to burn in the hearts of millions around the world. It is a testament to the power of love and mercy, the timeless values he has conveyed, and a reminder that everyone can contribute to making the world a better place. In every small act, every loving word, and every gesture of kindness, Pope Francis' legacy lives on, not only in the memories of those who knew him, but also in the hearts of new generations who will continue the journey of love and mercy. And so, the resurgence of faith is not just part of the past, but part of the future, a future full of hope and light. Touching stories. In light of Pope Francis' legacy, a series of moving personal stories emerged, each a living testament to the power of love and mercy. These stories are not only personal experiences, but also spiritual journeys, encounters with the miraculous in everyday life. One of the most remarkable stories is that of Maria, a young woman from a small village in South America. Maria had lived in poverty and despair, seeing no light for her future. But one day, she heard the story of Pope Francis, of his perseverance and compassion for the less fortunate. This lit a new spark of hope in her. Maria began volunteering at her local church, helping the elderly and poor children. Through these small but meaningful actions, she found joy and purpose in life. Maria's story is not only a personal journey, but also a symbol of the positive change that love and mercy can bring. Those around her also began to feel the change, and gradually, the whole community became more united, overcoming difficulties together. Maria has become an inspiration to many, proving that everyone has the ability to make a difference, no matter how small. Elsewhere, the story of Ahmed, a young man from the Middle East, is also a testament to the power of mercy. Ahmed used to live in an environment filled with violence and conflict, where hope seemed like a luxury. But when he heard about Pope Francis' message of forgiveness and peace, Ahmed decided to change his life. He began participating in education and peace programs, helping children and young people learn how to resolve conflicts peacefully. Ahmed has become a leader in his community, encouraging people to seek peace and forgiveness rather than violence and hatred. His efforts have brought about tangible change, not only in his own life, but in the lives of many others. Ahmed's story is a reminder that, even in the most difficult of circumstances, love and mercy can find a way to bring about change. The story of Sarah, a young woman from Europe, is also a great example of the power of mercy. Sarah faced a great loss when her mother died of illness. During that difficult time, she found comfort in the teachings of Pope Francis on acceptance and mercy. These teachings helped her overcome her grief, find peace, and continue living with an open heart. Sarah began writing letters sharing her story with others, especially those who were experiencing loss. Her letters became a source of encouragement for many, helping them find the strength to overcome difficulties. Sarah's story is a testament to the power of compassion, not just in emotion, but in action, a way of life. These stories, along with many others, are pieces that make up the whole picture of the power of love and compassion. They are not only personal experiences, but also spiritual journeys, encounters with the miracle of life. These stories are a reminder that, within each of us, there is the ability to make a difference, no matter how small. In every small act, every loving word, and every gesture of kindness, Pope Francis' legacy lives on, not only in the memories of those who knew him, but also in the hearts of new generations who will continue the journey of love and mercy. And so, these moving stories are not just part of the past, but part of the future, a future full of hope and light. These stories are not just personal experiences, but also spiritual journeys, encounters with the miracle of life. They are a testament to the power of love and mercy, timeless values that Pope Francis has transmitted. These stories are not just personal experiences, but also spiritual journeys, encounters with the miracle of life. They are a testament to the power of love and mercy, timeless values that Pope Francis has transmitted. These stories are a reminder that within each of us there is the capacity to make a difference, no matter how small. In every small act, every loving word, and every act of kindness, Pope Francis' legacy lives on, not only in the memories of those who knew him, but also in the hearts of new generations who will continue the journey of love and mercy. And so, these moving stories are not just part of the past, but part of the future, a future full of hope and light. These stories are not just personal experiences, but also spiritual journeys, encounters with the wonder of life. They are a testament to the power of love and mercy, timeless values that Pope Francis has conveyed. These stories are not just personal experiences, but also spiritual journeys, encounters with the wonder of life. They are a testament to the power of love and mercy, timeless values that Pope Francis has transmitted. These stories are not only personal experiences, but also spiritual journeys, encounters with the miracle of life. They are a testament to the power of love and mercy, timeless values that Pope Francis has transmitted. And so, these moving stories are not only part of the past, but part of the future, a future full of hope and light. These stories are not only personal experiences, but also spiritual journeys, encounters with the miracle of life. They are a testament to the power of love and mercy, timeless values that Pope Francis has transmitted. The journey continues. After Pope Francis passed away, the projects and initiatives he initiated have become beacons of light for generations to come. Charities, educational programs, and social movements have not only continued his work, but have expanded and developed, bringing hope and positive change to millions of people around the world. One of the most prominent projects is the House of Hope, a global charity that provides shelter and support to homeless people and refugees. Founded on Pope Francis' ideas of mercy and sharing, the House of Hope has become a symbol of love and solidarity. In each house, people who were once living in precarious situations not only find safe shelter, but also receive psychological support and educational opportunities to rebuild their lives. Stories from House of Hope are a living testament to the impact of kindness. A young mother from Syria, with her 2 young children, found shelter in one of these houses after fleeing the war. Here, she was not only cared for, but also trained in a trade, enabling her to support her family. The transformation of her life is a testament to the power of compassion and perseverance. Going beyond providing shelter and material support, House of Hope also organizes educational programs to raise community awareness of kindness and inclusion. Workshops, skills classes, and social activities not only help local people better understand the plight of the less fortunate, but also encourage them to get involved in charity and community support. In addition, the School of Love, another educational initiative, was established with the aim of providing learning opportunities to children in disadvantaged areas. Built on the foundation of love and compassion, the School of Love not only provides knowledge but also educates children about human values, compassion, and mutual respect. Children who used to live in precarious situations have found joy and new hope at this school. One of the touching stories from the School of Love is about a boy named Pedro, who had to drop out of school to help support his family. Upon being admitted to the school, Pedro not only learned to read and write, but also discovered his passion for music. With the support of his teachers, he joined the school's orchestra and became one of the outstanding young talents. Pedro's story is a testament to the power of education and love in changing people's lives. In addition, youth-led social movements are also flourishing, with the aim of improving the lives of the less fortunate and protecting the environment. These movements not only focus on providing material support, but also focus on building communities, encouraging solidarity and compassion. A typical example is the Green Earth Movement, an NGO founded by a group of university students, with the aim of raising awareness of environmental protection and sustainable development. This movement has organized many activities such as tree planting, beach cleaning, and educating the community about the importance of environmental protection. Their efforts have created a great change in community awareness, encouraging people to participate in environmental protection activities. The Green Earth movement is not only an organization but also a social movement, encouraging young people to take action for a sustainable future. The legacy of Pope Francis extends beyond charity projects and social movements to the arts and culture. Works of art, from paintings to music, are inspired by the values he has taught. They are not only creative works, but also prayers, thanksgivings, and promises for a better world. A young artist has created a collection of paintings about love and mercy, inspired by the Pope's homilies. Her paintings are not only beautiful works of art, but also emotional stories about kindness and forgiveness. The collection has been exhibited in many countries, giving viewers an insight into the power of love and mercy. The continuation of Pope Francis' legacy is not just a temporary phenomenon, but a lasting movement, a spiritual flame that continues to burn in the hearts of millions around the world. It is a testament to the power of love and mercy, the timeless values he transmitted, and a reminder that everyone can contribute to making the world a better place. In every small act, every loving word, and every gesture of kindness, Pope Francis' legacy lives on, not only in the memories of those who knew him, but also in the hearts of new generations who will continue the journey of love and mercy. And so, the journey that continues is not just part of the past, but part of the future, a future full of hope and light. The future of a better world. In the light of Pope Francis' legacy, the world is entering a new phase where love and mercy are not only spiritual values, but also powerful tools for building a better future. These values have permeated every area of life, from politics to the environment to society, creating positive and sustainable changes. Politics and mercy. In the political sphere, the message of love and mercy encourages leaders to seek peace and justice. These values are not only ideals, but also principles that can guide political decisions, help reduce conflicts, and promote international cooperation. Political movements based on mercy have begun to emerge, with the goal of promoting social justice and protecting the rights of the vulnerable. Environmental protection and mercy. Pope Francis' legacy has fostered a global movement for environmental protection. The principles of mercy encourage people to take action to reduce the negative impact of humans on the planet through projects such as planting trees, protecting rare species, and developing renewable energy sources. These efforts not only help protect the environment, but also create a strong sense of community, encouraging people to work together for a sustainable future. Society and inclusion. In society, Pope Francis' legacy has fostered a strong movement for compassion and inclusion. These values encourage people to seek understanding and respect for one another, regardless of their cultural, religious, or ideological differences. In a world that is often divided, the message of love and mercy offers new hope, encouraging people to work together to build a united and peaceful society. Personal responsibility. Pope Francis' legacy is not only the responsibility of organizations and movements, but also the responsibility of each individual. Each person can contribute to maintaining and developing the values he left behind through small but meaningful actions. From helping others, protecting the environment, to seeking peace and justice in everyday life, every action can make a difference. A better world. Looking to the future, we can see a world where love and mercy are not just spiritual values, but also powerful tools for building a better world. These values are not just ideals, but principles that can guide political decisions, help reduce conflict, and promote international cooperation. By applying the principles of mercy, we can create a world where people live in harmony with nature, protecting and nurturing the planet for future generations. In society, Pope Francis' legacy has been to foster a strong movement of compassion and inclusion. These values have encouraged people to seek mutual understanding and respect, regardless of cultural, religious, or ideological differences. In a world that is often divided, the message of love and mercy offers new hope, encouraging people to work together to build a united and peaceful society. Pope Francis' legacy is not only the responsibility of organizations and movements, but also the responsibility of each individual. Each person can contribute to maintaining and developing the values he left behind through small but meaningful actions. From helping others, protecting the environment to seeking peace and justice in everyday life. Every action can make a difference. In the future, every individual can become a shining torch, spreading love and mercy to every corner of life. And so, Pope Francis' legacy is not just part of the past, but part of the future, a future full of hope and light. With determination and solidarity, we can turn these hopes and visions into reality, creating a world where love and mercy are not just spiritual values, but also powerful tools for building a better world.